Functions versus role and responsibilities of insolvency professionals. As I said, that there's a difference between the functions that the insolvency professional has to discharge and the role and responsibility which the insolvency professionals have to deliver. To have this understanding, let us begin with the functions of the insolvency professionals. I'm just trying to put all of you on the same page. All of you are practicing insolvency professionals already, so there is nothing that new which I am talking about as far as this particular aspect is concerned. But just to be on the same page and create a background so that we are able to absorb the technical skills and also the soft skills in the right context and in the right perspective and the right background. So the functions of insolvency professional begins with acting as a resolution professional, and that is where he has to manage the affairs of the corporate debtor. He has to do the formation of COC, and he has to prepare the information memorandum and invite the resolution plan. And thereafter, he also has to conduct the CIRP of the corporate debtor, and in conducting the CIRP of the corporate debtor, he has to make the public announcement. He has to invite the claims and do the verification of claims. He has to comply with the timelines. Interestingly, in my knowledge and in my understanding, what I have seen, IBC I found was perhaps the one of the first laws which had definite timelines. Unfortunately, or incidentally, those timelines have undergone a change with the passage of time because of whatever experience that we have had in the reality. But those timelines are to be complied, and that is what insolvency professional has the function to perform, and avoidance transactions need to be taken care of. Then managing the resolution process, he has to do the facilitation of the COC meetings, adhere to the laws and code of conduct, and approval of the resolution plan, which is of course the critical function for any of the insolvency professionals. And finally, acting as a liquidator, assuming that the insolvency is not resolved and the corporate debtor has to compulsorily go for liquidation, and in that case, acting as a liquidator, he has to take custody of the assets, prepare asset memorandum, distribution of sale proceeds, and of course complete the dissolution. So this, friends, is the functions of the insolvency professionals, and we all are very much aware of all these functions because we all have performed these functions whenever we have handled any of those insolvency resolution process assignment or the liquidation assignment. What we also need to be aware, which of course is not part of the IBC code, this is what it is not documented, it is not coded, but this is what is expected from an insolvency professional, and this I refer as role and responsibilities of the insolvency professional. So what these are? The insolvency professional has to act as a businessman, and he got to have a outlook of a CEO. This is a leadership role. So as an insolvency professional, you of course are going to lead the entire insolvency process or the liquidation process, and that means you are into a leadership role. You got to run the business as a going concern, which is the stated objective. Resolve the insolvency when possible. So the stated objective or stated goal is that the insolvency resolution professional has to do everything under the sun, everything possible under the sun, to ensure that insolvency is resolved. In case if resolution of the insolvency is not possible, then of course compulsorily go for the liquidation. In the liquidation also, you have to achieve value maximization, which would mean that the assets that you have to dispose, you got to ensure that those assets are sold at the maximum price, and so that there is a contribution to the economy, business decision maker, and not merely an advisor. So this is what we professionals, we insolvency professionals need to always bear in mind. As an insolvency, as a chartered accountant, as a cost accountant, as a company secretary, as a lawyer, more often than not, we are into an advisory role. So we are only advising our clients to do this or not to do this, or to do that or not to do that. But as an insolvency professional, we are not in an advisory role. We are into a different role altogether, and that is we are in the role of a leader. And as a leader, we are in the role of business decision maker, and that is what is our role and responsibility. And in this respect, what we have to bear in mind that as an insolvency professional, we of course got to be the pursuer of the good corporate governance, and at the same time we also need to be a strategist. यानी कि as an insolvency professional, एक तरफ मुझे I have to act like a strategist, and on the other hand I also have to simultaneously work on the good corporate governance. Good corporate governance, friends, remember, is expected from all of us every moment, every moment. So that we have to do in any case, more so when you are in the shoes of an insolvency professional, that you have to ensure that you pursue the good corporate governance and also be the strategist. अगर मैं इसको simple words में कहूँ तो मैं कहूँगा कि जो हमारा role है as an insolvency professional, our role combines the Lord Rama, our role also combines the role Lord Krishna. So we have to follow good corporate governance as Lord Ram did, and we also have to be a good strategist as Lord Krishna did. So remember, as an insolvency professional, and that is the biggest technical skill that we all need to bear in our mind. So as an insolvency professional, I cannot I cannot try to be good with everyone and let things go the way they are going. Definitely not. As an insolvency professional, I have to act like Lord Krishna, a strategist. What all things need to be set right, what all can be done so that this insolvency is resolved, what strategy, what game plan, what plan of action need to be put in place, and that is what as an insolvency professional we need to do. But at the same time, we also need to follow the good corporate governance, and that means ensure that there is nothing which is done in the entire process of the insolvency resolution or in the entire process of the liquidation, which is fair to some and unfair to other. That is something we have a bounden duty, bounden obligation to ensure that anything and everything that we do is not unfair to someone unduly or fair to someone unduly. So this, friends, I thought to share with you as the functions of insolvency professionals and also as the prime role and responsibilities of the insolvency professionals. Again, I am throwing it open to every one of you. If you have any of the question with regard to what I have discussed, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask me the question. We will need to, I would love to answer all your questions, whatever they may be, or rather I would try to answer all your questions, whatever that may be. But unfortunately, we have a topic given for this session and we have a limitation of time, and therefore I will have to only be restrict myself to answering those questions which at this moment relate to the topic that we have on our hands. So over to every one of you. Please go ahead and ask me any question pertaining to what I have discussed with you so far.